Welcome to our journey into the world of matter. Everything around us, from the air we breathe to the water we drink and the objects we use daily, is made up of matter. But what exactly is matter? In simple terms, matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Whether it's the chair you're sitting on or the juice in your glass, it's all matter. In this video, we'll explore what matter is, its different states, and how these states change. Let's begin by understanding the basic concept of matter and why it's so important in our daily lives. Matter is all around us, but how do we define it? Matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. This means that even invisible things like air are considered matter because they have weight and fill up space. Think about a balloon filled with air. It gets bigger because the air inside is matter. Whether it's solid, liquid, or gas, if it has mass and occupies space, it's matter. This simple definition helps us identify matter in all its forms, making it easier to study and understand. Matter exists in three main states: solid, liquid, and gas. Each state has its own unique properties. Solids have a fixed shape and volume, liquids have a fixed volume but take the shape of their container, and gases have neither a fixed shape nor a fixed volume. These states are everywhere in our daily lives. Ice is a solid, water is a liquid, and steam is a gas. Understanding these states helps us see how matter behaves differently under various conditions. Start with solids. Solids are materials that have a definite shape and volume. This means they don't change shape easily. Think of a wooden block or a metal spoon. They keep their shape unless you force them to change. The particles in solids are packed closely together and vibrate in place, which is why solids are usually hard and rigid. Solids are all around us, from the furniture in our homes to the rocks outside. Liquids are quite different from solids. They don't have a fixed shape, but they do have a definite volume. This means they take the shape of the container they are in, like water in a glass or juice in a bottle. The particles in liquids are close together but can move past each other, which allows liquids to flow. Liquids are essential in our lives, from the water we drink to the milk we pour on our cereal. Gases are the third state of matter. Unlike solids and liquids, gases have neither a fixed shape nor a fixed volume. They spread out to fill the entire space available to them. The particles in gases are far apart and move freely, which is why gases are often invisible. Examples include the air we breathe and the steam rising from hot soup. Gases are all around us, even though we can't always see them. Now that we know about solids, liquids, and gases, let's compare them. Solids are rigid and keep their shape, liquids flow and take the shape of their container, and gases spread out to fill any space. The main difference lies in how their particles are arranged and how they move. This comparison helps us understand why ice, water, and steam behave so differently, even though they are all forms of the same substance. All matter is made up of tiny particles that are too small to see with our eyes. These particles are always moving. In solids, they vibrate in place; in liquids, they move around each other; and in gases, they move freely in all directions. The way these particles are arranged and how they move determines the state of matter. This particle model helps us explain many properties of matter, like why solids are hard and why gases can be compressed. Matter can change from one state to another when we add or remove heat. For example, when we heat ice, it melts and becomes water. If we heat water, it turns into steam. This process is called a change of state. Similarly, cooling steam turns it back into water, and freezing water turns it into ice. These changes are happening all around us, from boiling water in the kitchen to ice melting on a hot day. Melting is the process where a solid turns into a liquid. When you leave an ice cube out in the sun, it slowly melts and becomes water. This happens because heat energy makes the particles in the solid move faster, breaking their fixed positions and allowing them to flow like a liquid. Melting is a common process, and we see it whenever something solid becomes liquid due to heat. Boiling is when a liquid changes into a gas. When you heat water on the stove, it starts to bubble and eventually turns into steam. This is because the heat energy makes the particles in the liquid move so fast that they break free and become a gas. Boiling is an important process in cooking and in nature, like when water from lakes and rivers turns into water vapor and forms clouds. Condensation is the process where a gas turns back into a liquid. You can see this when steam from hot food turns into water droplets on a cool surface. This happens because the gas loses heat and the particles slow down, coming closer together to form a liquid. Condensation is also how dew forms on grass in the morning. It's a key part of the water cycle in nature. Freezing is when a liquid turns into a solid. When you put water in the freezer, it becomes ice. This happens because the particles in the liquid lose energy and slow down, arranging themselves into a fixed pattern. Freezing is a common process, whether it's making ice cubes or watching ponds freeze in winter. It's the reverse of melting and shows how temperature affects matter. Evaporation is a special kind of change where a liquid turns into a gas, but it happens at temperatures below boiling. For example, when wet clothes dry in the sun, the water in them slowly changes into vapor and disappears. This process is called evaporation. It's a slow process, but it's happening all the time around us, from puddles drying up after rain to sweat evaporating from our skin. Sublimation is a unique process where a solid changes directly into a gas without becoming a liquid first. A common example is dry ice, which is solid carbon dioxide. When left out, it turns straight into carbon dioxide gas. Sublimation is less common in daily life, but it's an important concept in science and is used in things like air fresheners and freeze-drying food. Deposition is the opposite of sublimation. It's when a gas changes directly into a solid without becoming a liquid. This process is rare, but you can see it when frost forms on cold surfaces during winter. Water vapor in the air turns directly into ice crystals. Deposition helps us understand how matter can skip states under certain conditions, showing the flexibility of nature. It's important to know the difference between physical and chemical changes. When matter changes state, like ice melting or water boiling, it's a physical change because the substance itself doesn't change. But if you burn paper, it turns into ash and can't go back to paper. That's a chemical change. Understanding this difference helps us see which changes can be reversed and which cannot. Matter is the building block of everything in our universe. Without matter, there would be no stars, planets, or even life. The study of matter helps us understand how things are made, how they interact, and how we can use them in technology and daily life. From making new materials to understanding natural phenomena, matter is at the heart of science. Every day we interact with matter in countless ways. We eat food, drink water, breathe air, and use objects made from different materials. Understanding the states of matter helps us make sense of these experiences. For example, knowing why ice melts or why water boils can help us in cooking, cleaning, and even in science experiments at school. Did you know that plasma is sometimes called the fourth state of matter? It's found in stars and lightning, or that the air we breathe is actually a mixture of different gases. Matter can be found in amazing forms all around the universe. These fun facts show just how fascinating the study of matter can be, and there's always more to discover. Sum up: matter is everything that has mass and occupies space. It exists mainly in three states: solid, liquid, and gas, and can change from one state to another through processes like melting, boiling, and freezing. Understanding matter and its states is the foundation of science and helps us make sense of the world. Keep exploring and you'll find that matter is truly everywhere.